Welcome to Friday Sews. I've finally used my Miss Moresby fabric because I've got more Miss Moresby fabric on the way. If you'd like to see what I've made with it, stay tuned. Hello everyone and welcome to Friday Sews. I'm Deb and this is DB Designs and Sewing Australia. And I will need to move because that sunlight, it's actually 7 o'clock at night. That sunlight is coming through, still coming through the window. So I've used, if you remember, the special Miss Moresby fabric. That was the Christmas market fabric. And I think it was in the Daily Society Christmas bespoke box. And the dress I ended up making, which is dress I've made before, and I've made the blouse as well, is the Singuliere dress by Cousette Patterns, which is that dress there. Came up beautifully. I tell you what, this fabric is really, really nice to sew with. Really nice. And it irons really well, which is ideal for this pattern because you are ironing these back. This is just like a straight neck, and these get ironed back as a type of lapel, but it doesn't have a collar. So very nice, very easy to wear. Just a bit of an extended shoulder that becomes a slight sleeve, but nothing too huge. Now I make the size large in this. So I did have a choice of 2 belts to wear with this. Of course you can wear it without a belt, very easy to wear. Quite a straight dress. So I was always looking for a shift dress to make this pattern in, or to make up this fabric in. And decided on a straight dress. Now this dress doesn't even have a dart in it. So it's very easy to wear. It's not fitted, but it's not ultra flowy. And so I think I have got it on in one of the photos with a red leather belt, which is like a narrower type of belt. And I've also got it on with this stretchy natural coloured belt. Now this is a belt that I made. I bought this, what do you want to call it? Stretchy stuff. I guess you'd call it elastic. So it's like a hay looking colour stretch. And at one stage I bought a whole lot of belt buckles secondhand off eBay, and lots of them were Bakelite. This one's made of Bakelite. I have got a few other ones left, and on the end of the belt I just made a little cover and stitched it on, and it's basically just threaded through and stitched down. I don't think I've overlocked the edge of that, but I have zigzagged it because otherwise it will fray. So I've got a few of these types of belts now. I did buy one when I was at my sister's place in Mornington. It's a nice natural and black, like a zigzag pattern woven into it. But I was going to wear that belt with this dress. Now the front has a split up the front. So the dress is actually made up like you're going to have buttons on it, but you don't. You actually just stitch that closed, and so you can see you get that front split going there. So really easy to sew. You don't need any buttons. It has no closures on it. You're just popping it over your head. Really easy dress. And as you'll see, the facing is built into the actual front piece. So usually you would have a facing piece that is a separate piece that you stitch on, which would be that piece there. But this one, you don't do that. But I did I'm sure I interfaced it. I did interface it, so you're just cutting a piece of interfacing, and I can't remember if they give you the interfacing piece or not. They do not give you the front interfacing piece in the pattern. So from the front pattern piece, I just made my own interfacing pattern and just cut my interfacing in accordance with that and ironed it on. Remembering that I have made this before and I've made the shirt before. Really, really nice pattern. Simple pattern, but very effective. Very happy with the end result of the dress, and I think I've got enough fabric left, because remembering this was a special bespoke box, so you got 3 meters of fabric. I think I've got enough fabric left to get a shirt out of this as well. So I've got a bit left over, so even if it was a short sleeve shirt or a shirt that came to here and you put like some false cuffs on, if you had another piece of fabric in a different section and you couldn't roll the sleeves up technically, you could stitch a cuff on so it looked like they were rolled up. I'm sure I've got enough fabric to do that in. So that was my first make. Really, really happy with that. We'll probably wear that out for dinner on the weekend. Now the other thing I made was a pair of pants. Now, the other day when I was at Barwon Heads with my sister, looking after my grandchildren, we went into a shop and I saw these pants, and they were made of a really lightweight denim. They went sort of just below your knee. They had a little band and they were pleated into the band, and they had a yoga waistband. And I thought, I really like those pants. But it was a very, if you've ever been to Barwon Heads, you'll know how much the things cost there. Like, a lot of money. I think they were like $145. And I thought, I could just make those. So I did. So, using the classic pant pattern, which is the pattern that I've been using lately to make all of my pants, like summer pants, I made these. And so I wanted it to pleat into this band, but I didn't want it to puff out like a pleat does, like a released pleat does. And so I ended up doing all these little darts. Oh, look, and I used pink overlocking thread. So I ended up doing all these little darts on the pant leg. And I think I shortened the legs by 26 centimeters to make 6/8 pants. 6/8 is 3/4, so I don't know why I wrote 6/8. 6/8 3/4? 4, 3, yeah, it's 3/4. And I put 11 darts in each of the pant legs, and then just made a strip, not a bias strip, but just made a strip of binding and sewed it onto the inside, flipped it over to the outside so it's top stitched on the outside. And to do the darts, see here, this is what I did. I started at 0.5 of a centimetre, so half a centimetre wide was the dart here, went down to 7 centimetres, 7 centimetres long, so down to nothing. So you wouldn't think that would take that much off the leg, but it actually did. And one of the darts is also in the side seam and the inner leg seam as well. So you can just see that is taken in a little bit there. So really happy with the pants. They worked out exactly like the ones at the shop that I'd seen. for heaps of money. I included the pockets, so it's got beautiful little pockets, and I put a yoga waistband on it. And I must admit, that sun, I must admit when I was at the shop, I checked out how wide the elastic was in the top of that yoga band. So I knew that the yoga band actually had elastic in the top of it, because I must have undone them off their coat hanger and was touching them. And I used 4 centimetre wide elastic. And I didn't write down what size my yoga waistband was exactly the width of navy blue ribbing that I had left. I don't have very much ribbing in my stash. So 9 centimetres deep finished is the yoga waistband. But when I put them on, I actually turned that over. They were much more comfortable to wear turned over like that. Now, I didn't try the ones on at the shop, so I don't know if I would have turned those ones over. It probably depends how long they were from the crotch to the waist. But absolutely loving these pants, and they're so comfortable. Now, this is some fabric that I bought from Spotlight. I had gone to Spotlight after I dropped my sister off home, and 1 metre of fabric. It's got a bit of a, can you see that? Besides the sunlight, I might need to turn the light on now. The sun's going down. It's got a bit of a sheen on it, but it's really a very lightweight denim. So you can see it's not a heavy denim at all. And I think it cost $15. So really happy with these pants. So they're just made up from something that I saw in a shop. So that was the classic pants from Sewing Revival, turned into 3/4 pants with darts and a small binding on the bottom, making it 3/4 pants with a yoga waistband. They're easy to get on, easy to get off, and very comfortable. I don't make many things with a yoga waistband, but I think I might be missing out because I really like them. Really, really good yoga waistband. And the other thing I got made up was a Take the Chance dress in the Japanese Water Garden viscose that I got in the January bespoke box. Can you believe it? I made up something in the same month I received it. It's what I really want to do this year when I buy something. Now, I tell you what I did. Oh, that sun. Now I have to keep moving because the sun is getting lower and lower, because it's probably 8:30 at night or something like that by now. Oh no, it's probably only 8 o'clock. This is the Take the Chance dress, and I had made one once before in, I want to say All the Rivers Run, but that was not the name of the fabric. It was called Rustic River. It was a bespoke box fabric, and it was the Fabric Godmother seersucker in the green and black check, or gingham look, which is really nice fabric. And so I made this. Now, when I was cutting out the pattern piece, unbeknownst to me, when I was cutting it out, this is the back, it has a yoke up here, it was all fine, but I had that folded up like that, and so I didn't even realize I should have cut it that long, and I didn't. And so I must have put the collar on, done the front placket, and then I was joining the sides together. I thought, that's weird. What is wrong with the sides? And so I got the pattern pieces out and had a look, which is the first place to start, and thought, oh, good on you, Deborah, because you have missed out on this piece here. And so I thought, I've already sewn the collar on. It's attached to the yoke. It didn't have the sleeves in it, so I could have just taken it off the yoke and cut another piece because I have got some fabric left. But I thought, I'm just going to make it a design feature and have this other little band at the back. So I've got this section here, which is where I sewed on an extension piece. So wasn't anything to do with the pattern, it was just to do with me. And that was not checking the pattern properly, because that, and in fact, put it away, I'm going to fold it in the other direction so I know next time, because I really like this dress. I made it exactly the same way I did the first time I made it. So that's a take the chance dress, but I only do one tier, and I only do the button placket to where the first tier starts. And because I already had, when I first made it, I reduced the gathering in the tier so it wouldn't be as gathered, and I really liked the way that looked, so I did that again. And I had these really cute little buttons, just some little light blue buttons. I will be inserting photos, but another really nice, quite lightweight dress. See how beautifully that fabric's come up? I don't know how I could have made that mistake with the back. I was being so paranoid about making everything. Technically, the fabric is probably not directional, but I was being so thingy about making sure it all went in the same direction, because I do believe that the koi fish need to swim in a downward direction. So I was making sure they all did that. And I was also making sure that I did not get, see how big that flower is? I was making sure I didn't get a giant flower boob. So being so paranoid about those things, and then stuffed up the cutting out of the back. But you wouldn't really know that it wasn't supposed to have that band there. It's only a single band. It's not a double band like sometimes I would put inside things that are supposed to have a band, because it's really got no pressure on it in this dress. It's not a zip-up dress. It's not a tight dress. So really happy with this dress. And that was a Take the Chance shirt dress by Pattern Emporium. And believe it or not, that's all I've made. I am in the middle of making up some patterns because somebody asked me if I could show them how to raise a V-neck. Sometimes when you get V-neck tops, they're, especially if you're short, they're too low in the front, and you can see either your boobs or your bra, or they're just not appropriate for work. And so someone asked me, could I show them how to raise up that V-neck, and how could I show them how to raise up one in also a button-up. So I'm just in the middle of doing that. I will be going to Melbourne again this week. Our friends are over from New Zealand, so now I'll have to decide which dress to wear out. And what I have been doing is collecting up some shirting fabrics. I am going to go down a bit of a shirt rabbit hole this year, making oversized shirts you can wear things under. I've got a lot of polo neck jumpers, and I think that a nice shirt over the top of them in wintertime would be really, really good. Gives you that bit of extra warmth without having a coat on. This is one of the fabrics I got. Now, this is a stretch cotton shirting. And when I say stretch, it's got two. It's 100%, oh, I mean, sorry, it's 98% cotton, and so it's a cotton spandex. So it has got a little bit of stretch in it, but not a huge amount, enough for a shirt. And so a big print, and I purchased that from Maker Society. So I thought that would make a really nice shirt. Now the next one I bought is 100% cotton. It's 100% cotton shirting. It has no stretch in it whatsoever. So can you see that look? So it's blue and white stripe, and I bought that from Spotlight. And then I bought some that's a cotton sateen, and it's 97% cotton and 3% spandex, or lycra as we call it in Australia. So it does have a bit of stretch. And it's in a colourway called Audrey. So I thought that would make a really cool overshirt. And then I also bought some 98% cotton, 2% elastane white shirting, which I have washed twice and still managed to have it filthy. I just don't know what is going on with that, and I don't know. I've just written across its label, check where the marks are when you cut it out. So, and I've also got the rest of this fabric. So even if I can't get a long sleeve shirt out of this, I would still be able to get maybe a shirt with a false cuff, really, because it's not really going to be a turn-up cuff if I haven't got enough fabric. It might just be a strip that I've made up from something else. That's been my fabric buying for the shirts. And these were fairly inexpensive, except that one comes from the bespoke box. But if you can recommend a really good oversized shirt, and when I say oversized, I certainly don't mean drop shoulders, because I'm really not that into drop shoulders. A lot of the shirts that I've been looking at have actually got a bit of an A shape, so they come out quite wide, and some of them will be like that, have those lines in the front like that, and the back wraps around a little bit. Another one has got big wrap overs in the back. Some of the other ones, and I can remember my daughter wearing once a shirt, and it must have had a split up the back, like a sewn split, and it had a couple of little buttons and button loops, and then just when it got to your waist, it was open. So just looking for some different design lines like that type of thing to make. So if anybody can recommend any good patterns, I mean, if you're going to have those the whole split back thing where you've really got a yoke and then you've got one back there, and they're cut on an angle. So they do that. Not really exposing my back because I'm an old woman, but you get the idea. And so it becomes an oversized shirt, but not in the top shoulders, really in the bottom part. Also a shirt that I would wear open, or I would wear it with a jumper underneath. Now I've got a white Trudy turtleneck that I could wear under something like that, as well as the black one. I've got a navy Trudy turtleneck that I can wear under something like that. I just got navy. I think so. Another one I could wear either of those turtlenecks under. And with a white one, you could wear anything. And this one, wow, I think I've got a hot pink Trudy turtleneck, navy Trudy turtleneck. I think I've got burgundy Trudy turtleneck. I think I've got that dark. You can't even tell that's a different colour on there, can you? Oh, you can now. I think I've got that colour Trudy turtleneck. So lots of choices of things to wear under it when I'm thinking forward into winter. I'm not sure how many more summer clothes I'm going to make. I will make up the Miss Moresby fabric that I purchased. I'm just not sure what into yet. I might make an overshirt with that. Technically speaking, I think I got the purpley coloured one called something in the sea, neon sea. Is it called that? Might have been called that. And I thought rather than making pants or anything, I might make that into a shirt, because you can wear that all the way through and in winter as well. So that was my makes for the week. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to ask me any questions. I am getting on with a bit of a tutorial on how to raise necklines. Always remembering that's something that I do quite a bit, is raise a neckline. Sometimes I actually need to raise the shoulder, because remembering the older you get and the shorter you get, first of all, you're getting shorter in your spine, but between your armhole and your underarm. So from here to here is often way too long, much more than it used to be years ago. So I am always checking for that as well. It is something that you need to do. Sometimes things are really low, especially if you're a short person, or if you sit at a desk where people can see down your top. And sometimes you just want to be a bit more covered, and so you want your V neckline to come up above where your cleavage starts so that nobody can see it. So that's all from me today. Please like and subscribe. Thank you to those people who have bought me a coffee on my Ko-fi account. It is very much appreciated. I hope everyone's been madly making their bestie bags, and I hope everyone's been using their continuous zips now that they know how easy it is to get the zip pull on. Remember, if it doesn't work the first time, give it a few tries. If not, go and have a cup of tea and come back, and then it will work, because that's always the way. Remember, like and subscribe. I will talk to you all soon. I'll be back early next week when I get back from Melbourne with how to raise a neckline. And it's really how to do a lot of different alterations. And I'll show you how I have my darts set up on my pattern pieces for ease of use. So everybody have a great weekend. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.